Maybe even us. Who knows? Maybe I saw a tweet, and you shouted out a few people like have Dan Devine, you're gonna have Amin El Hassan, you're gonna have Bomani Jones. No mention of either one of the Michaels, but that's okay. That's okay. Far be it for me to act like I'm not trying to act light skin right now, Vinny. I'm not trying to act light skin right now. I'm just saying, just saying.
Wow.
There's no Howard Beck. Ooh. No, there's no Michael Smith, no Michael. I know nothing.
Beck.
But okay,
just
cool.
let me know when you're done. Just let me know when you're done.
I'm done.
Because here's the thing,
I'm done.
your light-skinned self doesn't hang out on Twitter. That's what it is. You just don't hang out on Twitter. So if you hung out on Twitter, like you've deleted it pretty much for your, for good reason.
I see what you're saying.
But I would have added you if I knew you would have been able to actually see the tweet.
Then I would have retweeted. I would have retweeted it. But my name don't ring bells. You're right. You're absolutely right. But no, congratulations, brother.
Your name sounds out. No, your name sounds out all through the Baltimore neighborhoods, man.
All right, I appreciate it. Hey, listen, man. Vin, you remember in elementary school? Because, Vin, I'm sure you were the class jokester. I'm sure you made a lot of jokes. I'm sure you disturbed the class, and front or back of the class. I'm sure the teacher had to say, Vincent, quiet down and stop disturbing other people's learning process, right?
That's enough. Right, that's enough, Vincent.
But don't you hate it when
I was the quiet kid, actually.
Really?
I was the quiet kid, but go ahead.
But don't you hate it when you as the quiet kid would get in trouble when somebody else made noise and the whole class couldn't go to recess? Bruh, what is this about the Grizzlies not staying overnight in Miami or Atlanta or whatever because of Ja Morant? Like, all the years that these places have been difficult road trips for obvious reasons, Ja Morant didn't mess it up for everybody in Memphis?
Ain't that how it go? Are we going to say, Ja, you're going to fly ahead to the next destination while we hang back and kick it? Sometimes the leader gets, sometimes the leader messes it up for everybody, and you have to protect, certain people from their own devices, right? Because it's a 2-week period. Not being funny about it, but it's a 2-week period enough to cleanse yourself of all the things, all the trappings that are temptations for you. Is 2 weeks enough for that? Is the counseling, is sitting on the couch for a week or whatever it is? Have you gone through the process long enough and thorough enough and been honest enough with yourself to where a 2-week period is enough to clear yourself of all that? I don't think it is. I wonder, guys, if it was just long enough for him to get back on the floor, right?
Is
just
it ongoing,
long enough for him
Vinnie?
to get back on the
Do you know whether it's, sorry to interrupt you, do you know whether it's ongoing because it's like he was away and he's back, but counseling or what have you could always continue, therapy could always continue, or is he like done with it?
We don't know. Like, I don't think that was a question that was particularly answered, or was it even asked during the interview that he had with ESPN's Jalen Rose. I'm not sure if Ja's actually going to address the media when he returns. I know he's slated to return on Monday, but I'm not sure if he'll play on Monday. He's got to ramp himself up, get himself back into conditioning and everything else. But sometimes that is sort of the danger and being placed in an atmosphere where you're not asked a tough question. And tough questions are not meant to back someone into a corner. Tough questions are sometimes asked, a lot of times asked, to produce the best answers, the more clear answers, so you don't have the follow-ups like this or all this ambiguity in such a way. And it's no shot or shade to anybody in that way, because clearly Ja felt like he needed a safe space from all the criticism that he suffered. And sometimes in the culture that we have, people are afraid to ask tough questions because they don't want to upset the subject. But if you guys remember, even in situations where, I think it was the Louis Farrakhan interview with Mike Wallace on CBS 60 Minutes, it seemed like Louis Farrakhan was getting the best of Mike Wallace. But what Mike Wallace was doing was antagonizing Louis Farrakhan to get the truth out of him. And it just looked like, oh my God, he got owned. No, he didn't. Sometimes you got to ask questions and put yourself up there in a way and be vulnerable in a way. And I don't know if that's necessarily being asked. And I don't, like I said, it's 2 weeks long enough to get all these demons out of your system. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, no, tough questions make the interviewee work. That's what a tough question is.
Hey,
it makes them have to think, it makes them have to answer honestly.
Y'all see that Sawatsky happening there? That was like, you see that, Mike? That's Sawatsky
That's my boy, Vinnie. That's my boy right there.
That's some good stuff. I couldn't agree with you more, Vinnie. Now, but let's talk about not just Memphis and Ja Morant, but the West in total. The March Madness is happening right now in NCAA and college basketball, and I think this year in the West will feel like that, in that you're not really sure who's going to come out or why.
Like
you tell
the
me. I see all these teams. I'm telling you, I see all these teams in the West, Vinny, and I can't call it. Can you?
No, I can't. I'm not even going to say someone a lot to you. We're supposed to be the experts and use all these different statistics and a 70-game sample size, but don't nobody know a damn thing right now. Like, the logic would say maybe Denver, because Denver plays the most consistent brand of basketball, because you have the presumptive 3-time MVP, because they're reasonably healthy. But I don't know if anybody believes in them. You can't believe in the champs because they can't seem to do anything away from their home building, and they're missing arguably their second best player in Andrew Wiggins. And I find it hard to believe that any team missing their second best player, regardless of how great Stephen Curry is playing, you can't pick them to win a championship. You can't pick them to even get out of a round or two. Phoenix, I would like to say Phoenix because of Kevin Durant's greatness, but Kevin Durant, whether it's a slip or someone falling into him, he gets hurt. The Lakers, could it be the Lakers when LeBron comes back? Like, I'm not saying that as a hope or a wish, but if they're the most healthy team and they're the team that plays a consistent brand of basketball, especially defensively, especially with shooters around LeBron and Anthony Davis, could they be a team that rolls through the West? The problem is I can see every team winning a series. Can you see a team winning 4? Can you see the Clippers putting it together for 4? Can you see Sacramento, who's sort of playing a sort of playoff-like style of basketball, doing it? The only reason we're saying that Sacramento ain't doing it is because we've never seen Sacramento do it.
Right. Back to that presumptive 3-time MVP.
We ain't got time. We ain't got time.
No, we don't need it. I'm gonna just leave it to Vinnie to give Vinnie the good word and the last word, because it feels like, in that face you make, it kind of speaks to, I think it speaks to what I'm about to say, which it feels like everybody's been kind of shamed into not voting for Nikola Jokic. If Nikola Jokic somehow wins the third straight MVP, please, I hope he can go far deep in the Western Conference, because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it if he gets another regular season recognition and his team falls short in the playoffs. Now, having said all that, Embiid is certainly coming on strong. I know it's about the totality of the regular season, Vinny, but is it now Joel Embiid's award to lose? Because all I want to do, Michael, and I see your face too, all I want to do is have a basketball conversation about MVP. That's all I want to do. I just want to talk about all the court. Can we do that? Can we talk about basketball, Vinny? Is that okay?
If we're talking about basketball MVPs, why are we not talking about Giannis? Are we not talking about the best player in basketball, the most impactful player in the game, the guy with real bona fides, the guy that can take over a game on both ends of the floor? Oh, yeah, and his team is 19-3 in the last 22 games once he got his second best player back, and they are still a threat to win 60 games. So to me, yeah, it's still Jokic in the conversation, and maybe he's leading it because I don't think that voters have changed that much. But I think it's a legit 3-man race, and you could vote for either 3 guys. And I do think it'll be a closer race than it's been since the Twitter era. There have not been close races in the Twitter era because of groupthink and bullying. Maybe this will be a close race, and everybody's sensibilities will be a little bit different. Mine is higher for 3-time MVP. For history, you can't just be the best player. You've got to have a bunch of other things. But if we're going best player, best team, ain't that Giannis?
Probably.
Well, but
it feels like the momentum. This is strictly anecdotal, and I don't want to overstate it, because you'd be like, oh, everybody's saying this. No, you read one tweet. Oh, you saw one person say it. Everybody ain't saying it.
Everybody says. I'm not trying to. Nobody says.
I'm not trying to. Nobody's talking about. Well, a lot of people are talking about it. I'm not trying to succumb to that. It just feels like Embiid's on a tear right now. Embiid's on a tear. He's obviously the betting favorite, but it also feels like whatever injustice some people think was done by Nikola Jokic winning over Embiid these last couple of years will be righted this year. Not saying this is Joel Embiid's training day. This is not a lifetime achievement MVP. He's deserving, but it feels like he is like the momentum, the wind is behind him, as well as he's playing incredibly well right now?
He's not Karl Malone. That's the only fraud MVP I see.
Way to get a Karl Malone
I
stray
had
in there.
issues.
Any opportunity to get a Karl Malone stray in there, you do it. Love you, Vinny.
Oh.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.